Velma's back. I'll give you all a second to shriek in horror. I did not watch the second season of this show. I only watched the first season because I thought it might be good. I did not think the same of the second. So when I was roaming the internet and the existence of this special jumped out and punched me in the face, my first instinct was also to ignore it. But then I thought about it as I sat through my film noir class. One of Velma's many flaws was all the padding it used to extend its mystery's runtime. Shows are often affected by their runtimes. Hazbin Hotel having only 8 episodes definitely contributed a lot to its flaws, though we can't forget the show's own writing failing to adapt to its length didn't help. Velma, on the other hand, strikes me more as a show struggling to fill its runtime, which is why the characters were always doing random shit that half the time really didn't matter. So I found myself wondering, would a shorter runtime make for a better story? I mean, this is only 10 minutes longer than the average Scooby-Doo episode, surely it can't be that bad. And so, with that ill-advised motive, I checked it out. And then I was immediately distracted by my roommate watching The Blackening. It was better than I expected. Where was I? Oh right, Velma.
Okay, will someone please tell me who the Black Knight is? And is it racist? Because it sounds racist.
It's not, amazingly.
Velma. Spoilers for the whole thing. If you're like me and didn't watch the second season, here's all you really need to know. Scrappy killed Velma in the finale of season 2, so this special is about trying to bring her back to life. There's also a sexy party and the worry of a ghost that kills people in sexy costumes by pushing them off high places like the sexy kids did with him back when he died. I like to think the creators behind the show heard everyone complain about the sexualization of the characters and thought, let's make that a plot point. There's also a celebrity cameo by someone named Sweetie, I think. I have no idea who that is, honestly. You may think the Black Knight would be the biggest issue in the episode, but not so. It's bringing Velma back from the dead because all these characters are clearly masochists. And to do so, they need to face their biggest fears. Fred's biggest fear is getting a job. Daphne's biggest fear is FOMO. Shaggy's biggest fear is hurting someone he cares about. My biggest fear is whoever's idea it was to put Norville and his girlfriend in sexy Pinky and Brain outfits. Actually no, my biggest fear is that I was wrong because this splits the gang up again as their subplots just veer off so that the least number of people possible will be involved in solving the mystery. Who is framing the ghost of the Black Knight for all the murders? It's probably one of the people who killed him all those years ago. Yeah, ignore him clearly dragging Daphne to a cliff like he was going to throw her off like all the other victims. He's actually innocent. This is the mystery, figuring out who is framing a ghost for murder.
Night costumes are dorky and try hard. I don't make the rules.
And what's the rule on dismissive glibness? Always rude or always extremely rude?
Hello Kettle? Pot called. He said you're South Asian. I don't know why I keep watching Velma expecting a mystery to be the main focus. The writers are clearly far more interested in relationship drama. Unfortunately, the only mildly interesting thing they're doing is Velma's fear of being forgotten. Don't worry Velma, even if the show is cancelled, you will be immortalized in thousands of YouTube videos. Now, Velma's whole thing would probably hit harder if I cared about her character, but like, from a technical writing standpoint of just this special, it's not that bad. I'd ask a fan of the show, yes I do in fact know that they exist, what they thought about it if I cared to actually look to find one. Hey, you, the single Velma fan who got this far into this video, what do you think? Everyone else's subplots just don't matter. Norville and Fred's are just used for jokes and Daphne's falls flat. And, as was 100% predictable, in the search to figure out who killed Jeff, that's the Black Knight, they land on their parents. I've recently observed a phenomenon I like to call ancestral casting. Stick with me on this one, it's relevant. This happens when a show has a limited number of cast members and a lot of roles to fill, so it starts having those characters have a lot of roles to the point of being really noticeable, and if you try to graph how everyone relates to each other, it starts to look like the Targaryen family tree. It's not necessarily a terrible writing strategy, it's a trope, so it can be good or bad, and it probably has a better official name somewhere out there. I realized this while watching the YouTuber Chase Bridges try to solve the mystery of season 1, and I realized just how much the gang's parents are entwined with the mystery. Daphne's moms were the main detectives of the show, her birth parents were the most notable criminals in the city, Norville's parents were basically the only important school staff, and his grandmother was the scientist behind the crazy experiment driving the plot. Fred's family lived on top of an important laboratory, and his mom was the killer. Velma's sorta stepmom works in the local hangout spot. Her dad was Fred's lawyer. So, obviously, if someone was murdered decades ago, who else could be the suspects? Anyway, all 6 parents then conveniently walk into the girls' bathroom at the same time. I will admit though, I do like how they tie in the parents' guilt over their supposed murder of Jeff to their motivation for throwing an unsexy party as an alternative to the sexy one everyone goes to. Now, the show isn't actually going to commit to making one of its characters' parents a serial killer again, so it turns out to be a random librarian background character influenced by the magic book the characters are using to bring Velma back to life. They were trying to make Halloween less sexy and more scary so dark magic could have more power. Yeah, it's not a good mystery, I know. I mean, the clues are there, kind of. They're just so disparate and irrelevant that you can only walk away thinking, seriously, the evil book we all forgot about did it? And how Velma figured it out was incredibly contrived. As we all know, only evil books can whisper. Also, did Velma have some serious character development in season 2? Because the Velma of season 1 would have been absolutely excited to accuse some of these people of being serial killers. Anyway, the librarian brings Jeff back to life in place of Velma, and his zombie body is so scary the magic book regains its power as everyone runs away. So, it's zombie apocalypse time. And the solution? Bring sexy back to Halloween. Is this what it's like to be drunk? Anyway, I think the lesson is supposed to be anything can be sexy because people find different things sexy, but I've said that word so many times, I think it's starting to lose all meaning. The plan doesn't work because they don't like being sexy while Jeff, who has been revealed to be a peeping Tom, is watching. So Velma sacrifices herself, tears the old lady's soul out of her body, and drops right to hell with her. Don't get too excited. The cliffhanger is her being brought back to life by Fred being possessed by an evil audiobook with the voice of Richard Kind. So, for my final verdict, did being shorter help the show's writing? Kind of. There was much less meandering about with the plot, but conversely, the story still wasn't actually written for the whole cast. So Fred spent the episode trying to get a job and Norville spent it trying to figure out how to hurt someone's feelings. Hell, the new characters introduced in season 2 don't even make it past the 5-minute mark. And that's kind of understandable when you think about how bare bones the actual mystery is. Meet the ghost, look in some yearbooks, Velma has an epiphany. That's it. Everything else is fighting an evil witch. You know what? Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just wrong for thinking all Scooby-Doo properties should be about solving mysteries or something. The mystery and story might actually be worse than season 1's mystery because that one had some logic to it, or at least logic that could be easier followed by the audience, and had far better build-up for the killer's identity. I really can't judge season 2 about this, but from what I've heard, I suspect it's just on par with this mystery. The characters were all better, which might be because of character development, but I also chalk it up to not having enough time for them to be that terrible. I mean, Norville is exactly as annoying as I remember him, but he's over Velma and has a canonically hot girlfriend, so big W. Why the hell did the evil book bring Velma back to life? As the person who got rid of the original by having it get dropped in hell, that seems counterintuitive. Or was that just Fred? So, if we take a step back, what has actually changed between the beginning of this special and the end? Velma came back to life, so I guess this is required viewing. Fred's possessed by an evil audiobook. I think that's it. It undid the cliffhanger of season 2 and replaced it with a new one. Oh right, and there's a zombie shambling around the town watching everyone as a peeping Tom. I will not be back for season 3. Then again, from what I've heard, there's a possibility the show won't be back for season 3 either. What did you think of this video? And the special if you did check it out. Tell me in the comments below, and while you're at it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Thank you, and good day.